On the Hobo Road, I roam alone. Stars above that are far from.
Welcome back, my frostbitten freedom seekers, my tarp-taming travelers, my mattress-mummified misfits. Hobo Yeti here, equal parts philosopher, blanket hoarder, and unwilling winter athlete. There have been times during the cold of winter when the temperature dropped low enough to test the limits of my gear and my patience. It's a strange classroom, this cold mentor. The lessons are sharp and the tuition is frostbite, but every frozen night teaches the same truth. Comfort is optional, survival isn't. When you live off-grid or homeless through the deep chill, you stop chasing warmth and start learning how to trap it, steal it, and laugh at its absence. Here's a handful of hobo hacks, equal parts science and sarcasm, to help you stay alive when your breath turns to steam and your willpower starts to fog up too. 1. Wrap your tent like it's the last slice of pizza you don't plan on sharing. A tarp becomes your best friend when temperatures sink and wind seeps through every seam. Fully covering the tent with a tarp can boost the inside temperature by around 10 degrees. Real gains, not comfort illusions. It's the off-grid version of central heating powered by sheer stubbornness. But physics demands payment, condensation. You'll exhale about a liter of water overnight, which turns your tent into a damp cave of your own making. That's why contractor bags are gold. Lay them flat above and below your sleeping zone to catch the drips. It's not luxury, but it's dry enough to call progress. When warmth feels like rebellion, even small degrees count as victory. 2. Build a budget microclimate. Forget fancy gear ads. Your body is already the furnace. Your job is to hold on to that heat like it owes you money. Start with insulation beneath you. Cold creeps up from the ground first. Memory foam holds warmth beautifully, but even cardboard or layered blankets can stop that chill. Picture your camp setup like lasagna. Ground barrier, padding, blanket, you, more padding, tarp. Everything between you and the earth buys time before the cold takes its cut. Add bubble wrap or newspaper if you have them. Trapped air is nature's best cheap insulation. When it comes to warmth, ingenuity outruns wealth. The goal isn't comfort, it's containment. You're not creating a home, you're manufacturing a microclimate one scrap at a time. 3rd, outsmart condensation before it baptizes your forehead. Moisture in a tent isn't magic, it's just your breath having an identity crisis. Every exhale turns into a cold droplet, and eventually gravity brings that droplet down right onto your face. Hanging plastic sheets or contractor bags near the top of your tent forms a simple barrier that catches the moisture before it rains inside. The next morning, you'll wake up slightly less soggy and a lot more smug. A dry sleeping bag in winter is the difference between comfort and catastrophe. Control humidity, and you control morale. Condensation may not sound like a threat, but anyone who's woken up in a self-made rainstorm knows it's the silent enemy of winter camping and homeless survival alike. 4. When your gear's rated for spring, but it feels like the Arctic, it's time to improvise. Let's say you have a 40-degree sleeping bag and it's a 20-degree night. That's not a tragedy, that's a project. Slip the sleeping bag into a contractor bag to trap warmth. It's a cheap and slightly claustrophobic trick, but it works. Condensation will build up inside, but that's manageable if you dry it out during the day. Always aim to keep heat close and wind far. When conditions get mean, your brain becomes your best piece of gear. Smart layering and creative use of plastic can outmatch expensive gear any day. Cold weather's an honesty test. It shows who prepares, who adapts, and who learns fast or freezes slow. 5. Eat to heat. Your stomach's the furnace no one talks about. When the cold creeps in and you're lying still too long, a quick snack restarts your internal engine. A granola bar, nuts, or even dry oatmeal can raise your core temperature faster than you'd expect. It's biology, not magic. Food equals firewood for the body. If that doesn't cut it, do some quick movements, sit-ups, push-ups, whatever fits inside the tent. Movement builds heat, even if it makes you look like a trapped penguin. The goal isn't fitness, it's survival. Every calorie burns twice, once as energy, once as warmth. Out here, you can't waste either. You're not trying to stay cozy, you're trying to stay conscious. Hunger might whisper, but cold bites louder. 6. Follow the cardboard gospel. A single sheet of cardboard between you and frozen ground can mean the difference between misery and sleep. It traps air, which keeps heat near your body instead of bleeding into the dirt. That's why wanderers and travelers have used it for decades. It's simple, free, and works as insulation better than most realize. Stack it if you can. Double layer it if you're lucky. In cold conditions, everything under you matters more than what's on top of you. Heat escapes downward first. Cardboard turns survival from a guessing game into a science project. It may look like trash, but so does everything right before it proves its worth. Out here, genius and garbage share the same face. 7. Embrace the fine art of trash bag fashion. It's not glamorous, but it's genius. Cut a hole for your head, 2 for your arms, and you've got a wind-blocking, heat-trapping barrier that costs nothing. Wear it under your jacket to lock in warmth. The plastic keeps the air you've already heated from escaping. Sure, you'll sound like someone loudly eating chips in a quiet theater when you move, but at least you'll be warm. It's hobo innovation at its finest. Simple, ugly, effective. When frost tries to creep into your bones, a little plastic pride can save the day. Nobody wins style points in a freeze, only survival points. Think of it as armor for the absurd. 8. Engineer your sleep system like a minimalist mastermind. Start with a foam pad, then your sleeping bag, then add blankets or quilts over the top. Wrap your tent in a tarp to block out wind entirely. Every layer slows heat loss, and each one buys you a little more rest. Winter camping isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. You're not trying to win comfort awards, you're building resistance. When the setup's right, you'll feel it. The tent grows still, the air warms just enough, and you realize survival is its own kind of success. Out here, the temperature doesn't negotiate, but preparation does. Every night you sleep through without shivering is a quiet rebellion against the cold, the odds, and everything else. There's something almost poetic about outsmarting winter. You're standing in the middle of nature's final exam with nothing but grit, gear, and a sense of dark humor sharp enough to slice frost. You don't have to love the cold, just learn its rules. Preparation turns panic into patience, and waking up warm becomes the small kind of victory that keeps you going. Survival isn't about comfort or gear. It's about the quiet decision not to give up when the world dares you to. Each tarp, each blanket, each trick is a story of defiance stitched together by stubbornness. Out here, the art of staying alive isn't glamorous. It's just honest. You build warmth out of whatever you've got, and somehow that's enough. I hope your road is a good one, and if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. And remember, nothing says character like refusing to die quietly. Peace.